end up a...
At a lot of fast food restaurants, everyone is so caught up in the race that it can be dangerous to get in their way.
There you are, sir. You look very pretty, and the spaghetti is as good as new.
But at Druther's, making you feel comfortable is just as important as serving you a variety of good food. That's why a trip to our salad bar is more likely to include a pleasant conversation than a brush with disaster. And it's why no place else feels like Druther's.
We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
If you've got the medal to become a Marine, call your local Marine Corps recruiter today.
WPSD cares about you. From Kentucky, Illinois, Tennessee, Missouri, and the world, live with tonight's update. Ron Beaton, Luann Knight, Larry McIntosh, meteorologist Cal Sisto, and the Newsbeat team. This is Newsbeat Tonight.
Good evening. It's not exactly his final farewell, but this was the night Ronald Reagan was praised and honored by the Republican National Convention.
The welcome was amazing as the president entered Convention Hall. There were few dry eyes in the Superdome as the ovation just before the president addressed the crowd lasted for nearly 10 minutes. When he began, the president listed the achievements of his 8 years and blasted the Democrats.
Well, facts are stubborn things. When our friends last month talked of unemployment, despair, hopelessness, economic weakness, I wondered why on earth they were talking about 1978 instead of 1988.
Then, as some of the George Bush family looked on, the president turned to the future.
I'll help keep the facts straight or just stand back and cheer. But George, just one personal request. Go out there and win one for the Gipper.
And with that, Ronald Reagan turned the spotlight over to George Bush. Earlier today, the president made a surprise visit to a luncheon honoring his wife, Nancy. He says his past 8 years in the White House wouldn't have been the same without her.
So, Nancy, in front of all your friends here today, let me say thank you for all you do. Thank you for your love. And thank you for just being you.
At the luncheon, Nancy Reagan sounded a little nostalgic, saying the curtain is closing on the Reagan era, and it's time for the first family to step into the wings.
The #1 issue at the convention continues to be the vice presidential spot. George Bush saying he still hasn't made up his mind tonight. New York Congressman Jack Kemp says he isn't campaigning for the job, but he'd really like to be Bush's choice. The former pro football star said he'd make a good second-string quarterback for Bush. One North Carolina company is doing some unscientific polling, judging the outcome by which campaign button is bought the most. Leading so far, Oliver North. At home in Massachusetts today, Democratic nominee Michael Dukakis proposed the creation of a cabinet-level post for the space program. He says the space